Dr. Christine Leehealey, and I'm a board-certified rheumatologist. I have treated patients with arthritis and autoimmune disease for over a decade, and some of the most common questions I get on a daily basis are, what foods should I eat to help my condition? What kind of diet is recommended to help with my joint pain? While there are no major clinical trials that have addressed this, I have begun to research these questions which are so important to my patients. Based on the medical literature we have available, I really believe in the power of food choices. And not only have I developed recommendations, but I've also incorporated these into delicious recipes to share with you. The internet provides a wealth of knowledge for arthritis patients, including what foods to eat or avoid, and what helps with inflammation and what worsens it. One of the ongoing issues that I have had discussions with my patients about is nightshade vegetables. Tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and eggplant are the main ones. These vegetables produce solanine, a chemical toxin which actually helps the plant resist fungus and insects. If ingested in high amounts, it can cause a lot of symptoms in humans, such as vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, dizziness, and hallucinations. But no one usually eats these vegetables in large amounts on a daily basis. If eaten in smaller concentrations, it theoretically can disrupt muscle and nerve function, causing pain. While there's a lot emphasized in the homeopathic literature about avoiding nightshade vegetables in patients with arthritis and autoimmune disease, there are absolutely no substantiated clinical studies in the medical literature regarding this issue. Dr. Nathan Childers, a PhD, has written extensively on this topic and has done some prospective studies with patients who reported much less joint pain when they avoided nightshade vegetables. Dr. Sarah Ballantyne, also a PhD who has published on paleo diet, also discusses the pros of avoiding nightshades based on her own experience. Rather than completely dismissing all this as hearsay, I believe it is not a black and white issue. People all have unique genetic makeups and obviously exhibit a vast range of sensitivity when it comes to foods. Many patients have told me they feel much less pain and stiffness avoiding nightshades. Other patients have told me that they have tried avoiding nightshades but didn't notice any difference in their pain. Here's what I'm saying. Avoiding nightshade vegetables is a possible way to decrease overall arthritis pain, whether it be for rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, or osteoarthritis. There is absolutely no evidence, however, that it worsens or improves the underlying disease, but it can influence your pain level. The only way to know if you're sensitive to solanine is to do a personal trial. Avoid the nightshades for at least 1 month. Then reintroduce them and see how you feel. Rate your pain level every day on a calendar and keep a log of how you feel so you'll be able to compare your month off them to your month eating them again. The only way to know is to try. At this point you must be thinking, what are these nightshade vegetables and how do I avoid them? Come with me, I'll show you how. Okay, so I'm back from my farmer's market run and I'm ready to make my tomato-less tomato sauce. Now you need about 2.5 cups of diced vegetables in order to make about 3 cups of sauce. So I have here 3 golden beets and 2 red beets in this large dice that I've done. You need at least 1 red beet in order to make the sauce a brilliant red color, which we're used to seeing with the tomato sauce. And then I have a bunch of fresh carrots, which I bought from the farmer's market, and I'm just going to dice them large dice. I haven't even peeled it actually because they're so fresh, and I just kind of scrub them down. Okay, so I'm going to put everything in a large pot here, along with my beets. Now I love beets, but if you are not particularly a beet type of person, you can add more carrots, you can do parsnips, you can do celery root, you can do any number of root vegetables which are not nightshade. I'm going to steam them with 1 cup of just regular water. Okay, and you want to put it on a medium heat and simmer it for about 30 minutes in order for the vegetables to become really, really fork tender. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And while they're steaming, I have in my saute pan 1 medium onion, which I've put into a fine dice, cut them, and then also 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to saute this with a little bit of canola oil until everything's translucent and cooked. Okay, so I'm done steaming up my vegetables. As you can see, it's this great deep red color, all because of the beets. And then I have my sauteed aromatics, my onion and garlic, which is nice and fragrant. I'm basically just going to dump everything into my Vitamix blender. You should probably wait until some of this is a little bit cooled down so you don't burn yourself. Okay, and then the onions. Okay, to this mixture I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Now this is actually really important. It gives that tang that you're used to tasting in a tomato sauce. Okay, I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, and of course you could use whatever you're used to in a tomato sauce, whether it be thyme or basil. I'm going to put some ground pepper in, and then also a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and then 3/4 of a cup of water. Now if you like your sauce a little bit thinner, you can add 1 cup or 1 1/4 cup of water. I tend to like my sauces thick. Okay, and we're ready to blend. How fast is that? Look, it's just like tomato sauce, basically. It's rich and red. Tangy. My tomato-less tomato sauce. Awesome. So I'm done with my tomato-less tomato sauce. It's thick, it's rich, it's tasty, it's tangy, just like a tomato sauce would be. It's nightshade free, so if you're sensitive to solanine, it's great for your joints. And it has the added benefit of not causing any heartburn. So I typically use tomato sauce in lots of ways. I make personal pizzas with zucchini and mushroom. I have here spaghetti with meat sauce, and I used a gluten-free spaghetti. And I have meatball sandwich. These are great, and my family's going to dig in. I'm Dr. Christine Leehealey, and these are Cooking Points for Healthy Joints.